Now we got a movie review from Landon, a little solo interview, um, for Final Destination Bloodlines, the newest, latest installment of the Final Destination franchise. Obviously, I have not seen it yet. I do not care whatever you say. I mean, I've seen some stuff about like what some of the deaths are or whatever, but the Final Destination movies are like one of my favorite horror franchises. They're so like we've talked about in previous weeks, like they're so like you feel like some of that stuff could happen, which makes it so much scarier. And it makes you like look at things differently for the rest of your life, like the log truck or like gymnastics or whatever it may be. So it's very unique in that aspect and very cool to see that they did another one. So yeah, take it away. I'm excited to see what you think. I know overall it has been getting
Yeah,
like
very good
pretty good
review.
reviews and it made a ton of money,
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
money. So.
yeah. The reviews are great, and I was actually shocked because I feel like the Final Destinations aren't known for their high ratings. Um, I'll start by saying this. I'm not gonna give like too many spoilers away, because I think there's some stuff you probably haven't seen that you kind of want to, see on your own. And I'm not gonna spoil the movie for my friend because I'm a nice person. So I'll start by this. So going in. You have so many iconic deaths in the Final Destination franchise, like coming off the top of my head, just like the gymnastics scene, or the log truck scene, or the escalator scene, and if you've seen them, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't have to say anything else, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Like the suntan bed scene, you know exactly what I mean. Um, this movie, I think my so I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I'm not as big on I'm not as high as the reviews are. I will say that. I do think that it's like overall wise that it's as good as some of the other ones, but I think there's some things that lack in this, and I'll kind of get into it. But basically, in this movie, you know the premise, obviously, so I can kind of go on this. But the main character, I don't even remember her name because I don't remember any characters' names in the Final Destination movies. So if you hate me, screw you, because why do you remember names? But basically, the main character is a granddaughter of somebody who had a premonition, and in the Final Destination movies, they have premonitions. And this girl basically saved a bunch of people at the beginning of the movie that, of course, were meant to die. And Death doesn't like when you mess with his plans. So, she is a descendant. And of course, if her grandmother was meant to die, she's not supposed to exist. And basically, we find out that because of her grandmother being alive, that the rest of her bloodline hasn't been seeked out by death yet. Her grandmother has kind of survived this whole time, and I'm not going to give that away. Do you know? You probably don't know how she survives, but basically she's been surviving, and it goes down the line of the bloodline, basically going from oldest to the youngest. But it spares people who are not like if you married in, it would spare the person that you married, basically. But your kids, of course, being a bloodline, you would be next. Um, and she's trying to figure out, best way to stop it or different ways to stop it. And we get a good little last performance from Tony Todd, which he kind of
RP.
I don't know if you've seen, but he actually gives a really, really good message kind of in his little, basically saying that you want to enjoy life while you have it. And that kind of hit me in the theater because I was like, wow, that sucks. I mean, now I want to cry during a Final Destination movie. But no, he does have a little scene which I think he was good in. And he does give, even like you can learn something from a Final Destination movie. Enjoy life, live it while you have it, and don't be afraid of death because it's coming. Everyone dies. So basically that's like the whole premise of the movie. First off, I want to say this. The first 15 to 20 minutes, maybe it's 25, I don't know. I hated. I despised it, hated it. It is a CGI slop fest with no good visuals and bad acting. It's bad, like really bad. I hated it. Even like the scene where everything starts to go wrong, it just looks bad. And I don't remember the other Final Destination movies looking bad. Even their deaths, like we the fact that you can make a gymnastic person like contort like that and their bones go everywhere, it didn't look this bad. And maybe I'm remembering it wrong. Even the log like scene that I remember looked pretty good. This looks awful, like really bad. And that goes for a lot of the deaths in the movie. They just look like a slushy. And it just sucks because I don't remember it being like that. There's a lot of deaths in this movie that are kind of, like I said, they just look bad. They don't look realistic. And I know the movie is not supposed to be realistic, guys. I get that. But like the other Final Destination movies didn't look bad. And that's kind of the point I'm making. This one looked really bad at the beginning, and most of the deaths did. So that was kind of my biggest complaint with this movie, is because knowing what the other ones have offered me, like death wise, these were not good. Like looking wise. As for the deaths, look, I'm gonna rate it on like how shock factor the deaths are. We have seen some crazy deaths in Final Destination, and there might be one or two in this movie that kind of even somewhat get to like that shock value. A lot of them are predictable, and I know that they foreshadow stuff in the other ones, but a lot of these are very predictable, and you kind of figure out how they're gonna do it. There's even a stupid one that kind of like they give away and basically explain what's gonna happen beforehand in the middle of the movie, which I didn't like because I think the fun stuff about the Final Destination movies is like how the hell is this even gonna kill somebody? And that's what makes the other ones fun. There's one or two that I think were good, but a lot of them I didn't like was like, oh wow, or like that shock value. I didn't get it. And maybe I'm just so watered down from the other ones, but I don't think that's the case because I don't remember that for the last one. The acting is, I mean, it's a Final Destination movie. There are two likable characters that I think do a good job, but other than that, there's not. And the story just wasn't my favorite. I don't know if I really like the whole bloodline thing. I like the concept, but I don't think they did it like well. Um, and I think you'll kind of understand what I mean when you see it. But I don't think it's like awful. I just don't think it's like as high as other people are making it out to be. I'm so glad that they're getting people to the theater. I really want that. I've always wanted that. But in my opinion, though, like the deaths look so bad at some points, and they look so like CGI slushy. You know what I'm talking about? Like it looks like a mess. And I think that's a cheap way to do your deaths sometimes. So that just in the first like 20 minutes, man, the acting is so bad that like I can't even sit through it. Hey buddy, I know. Um shit. Okay, he's bothering me. But anyways, yeah, like there's some parts that just look really bad. There's even one that like I'm like I don't think that would even like your body would look like that. Like that's not what would happen. But I mean, I'm just being nitpicky, but compared to the other ones, like I just remember some of the deaths like looking good. You're like, "Oh shit, like that's crazy." Like I could, and there was a lot more like I'll give this way, there's a lot more exploding deaths in this one. And I think what makes the other one so great is that your body doesn't explode. Like you kind of see a lot of it. Like we get the bathroom scene where he like chokes around the wire. We get the gymnastic scene, like I said. We get the log like or the where you get the jaws of life and the log goes like through her face or his face or whatever. So I think this one's like kind of cheap that way because then you can just cop it out and be like, okay, well, we don't have to show anything of the body, right? Like that happens probably 5 times in this movie, and you're like, that's cheap. But I mean, I'm probably being a little bit too critical, but I do like the other ones for their shock value and for like ones that kind of make you go, ooh, like that's like makes me kind of tense up or it be realistic. I think it just lacks some of that in this one. And again, like the acting is not very like great, which isn't Final Destination, but even then, like they're not that bad. So I gave it 3 stars on Letterboxd. So it's a lot lower than a lot of other people. And I think I'm gonna give it like right out of 6. I'm gonna put it at 6.0. It's nothing. I don't think it's as high as a 9. I don't think the story is anywhere near that good to be a 9. And like I said, some of the CGI stuff just pissed me off so much that I think it's a cheap way out. And some of them were just kind of like predictable and almost like I said, one of them's explained. But other than that, though, I mean, if you want a Final Destination movie and you want to see like gruesome deaths and like just kind of be like that would never happen. Like, what are the odds of that happening? You're gonna enjoy this movie. If you like the other ones, I think you'll like this one. And a lot of people who I've seen on Twitter who like the other Final Destinations like this one. So, like I said, 3 stars, 6.0, nothing too crazy. It wasn't my favorite by any means, but definitely watchable.
Awesome. Yeah. No, I'll be there. I'm going to check it out tomorrow for discount day. So um I'm excited to check it out and kind of see and compare. I haven't watched the old ones in a long, long time, but yeah. So that's Final Destination Bloodlines. Thank you, Will, for doing your homework and going to see that.